Welcome to the Doctor's Mentor Show. If you believe that medicine is an industry and not a profession, if you enjoy submitting complex reimbursement claims, or you would do another residency just for fun, be advised, you're about to be offended. You should probably leave now.
All this talk about mentoring doctors is ridiculous. I thought doctors learned to do everything better than everyone else the first year of medical school. At least that's the way they act.
If you love assisting patients with vitality breakthroughs, if the right to practice medicine without interference is important, and you want expert tips for practice freedom and profits to support your epic life, welcome aboard and prepare to be blown away. The Doctor's Mentor Show starts now. Here's your host, Dr. Lori Barr.
Hey, it's Dr. Lori Barr here, the Doctor's Mentor. In the last episode, we discussed ways to create superheroes out of the people who were around you. Whether you were training the people or you worked with the people or it was a patient or even someone at your home or even yourself, you can definitely use conversation techniques to point out to them where they've had success in the past and carry that success into the future for them. I didn't really give you an example of how to use that with a patient specifically, so I wanted to do that today. And I also wanted to say that the reason why I did that episode and this episode is to make sure that you know, as a doctor, it's not like you were born with the skill of communication and leadership built in. It's a skill you develop over time and can always be improved. I'm by no means an expert. I continue to improve my communication and make it clearer and do my best to be more accurate about how I'm feeling and take responsibility for my own feelings and let other people be responsible for their own feelings. Understand that these examples of conversations are designed so that you can actually write out a script and rehearse what you might say in an interview situation or as you're training a person, or when you're trying to encourage someone in your department. And even when you communicate with patients, there's nothing wrong with practicing a new skill. In fact, it's desirable. It's called rehearsal, where you actually rehearse how you'll act in that situation. So with a patient, you're wanting them to take a step. Like maybe you're wanting them to stick to a movement and eating routine that will actually help them burn off some excess energy that they have stored on their body as fat. The whole idea there is being committed, right? You want to show them that they're a hero of commitment already. So the conversation might go something like this. Now, Mr. Jones, I see you're married. How long have you been married? And if Mr. Jones says greater than 5 years, then you have an example of commitment. If that's not one, find something in their history that shows they're committed. It could be something bad. Oh, I see you have a 10-pack year history of smoking. That's a commitment. So it doesn't have to be something good, like a long marriage. It could be a bad habit. It just needs to demonstrate that they're already an expert at commitment. Point out to them with your questions and get them to agree that they're already an expert at commitment. Next, we want to point out how bad life is in their current situation. It's really hard to move and your knees ache whenever you walk now because of this excess energy stored on your body, right? Might be one way to do this. Or you can say, tell me how it feels to take a walk with your wife. How far can you walk with your wife to get exercise right now? All of these questions can help remind them of the pain they're in because of the excess energy stored as fat on their body. The next thing is to point out how life could be if they stick to the program. Wow, that'll get easier and easier once we get some of this excess energy off your body. You don't need to store that anymore. Let's share that energy with the world. Would you be interested in knowing some ways to do that so you can have longer walks that are enjoyable and you can actually have a conversation with your wife? So you're getting buy-in that they want to feel better and enjoy more of life with people they love. And then finally, the question is going to be showing them that they've already been a superhero of commitment. Well, I know earlier we talked about the fact that you smoked for 10 years. You realize that shows you're already an expert at commitment. And all that's required for you to drop this excess energy is commitment as well. Commitment to an eating plan, that supports you and your wife and commitment to a movement plan that outpaces what you're taking in. Now, for a superhero of commitment, that sounds pretty easy. Are you willing to give it a go? And then make sure they have some training wheels, right? What kind of support are you going to need? What kind of accountability are you going to need until you feel comfortable in transferring your success and commitment to this area? That shows you're a partner in their success and that they are in charge. That's a very powerful position to put yourself in this changing face of healthcare. Remember, patients are the CEO of their health and their body. We are simply on their board of directors. You're advising them and helping them see possibilities and making sure they have the resources they need to be successful at controlling their own destiny when it comes to medical independence. Hope that helps.
Your next step.
Your next step is to actually write down two sides of a conversation and possible, all kinds of possible iterations, to actually write it down and then rehearse that conversation. Rehearse your part of the conversation. And if that seems like too much, at least write down some questions and answer them yourself, like you're being on both sides of the interview, for example, so that you just get practice answering those questions and asking those questions. So practice is where you repeat a skill until it becomes natural. That's like an athlete learning muscle memory by doing the same swing again and again and again. Rehearsal is where you actually take those skills and walk through the scenario before the actual play. So get out there and let's do some practicing and let's do some rehearsing. And if you're ready to start your own show, message me right away, thedoctorsmentor.com, leave me a voice message. I want to get you in to a conversation so we can see where you are with scaling your practice and scaling outside of your practice, scaling your expertise, so that you actually have more time to spend with the people you love and have the type of life that your patients can emulate. I'm Dr. Lori Barr. One idea is all it takes to change your world.
Are you stopping at a hospital? Hello? Don't you know that hospitals are one of the sickest places on the planet? Don't touch anything in there and get out as fast as you can.